guys that gave the Red Sox Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek for Heathcliff Slocum. So yeah, this
And
would be the sort of organization that would do this.
and the other part is it's not like it was the trading deadline today, and they had no other choices. I mean, they could have chose, hey, let's wait 3.5 weeks, see if something better comes along. Because you think somebody'd want the league leader in home runs, but that's kind of a weird thing going on there. Just read on through.
Uh, um, well, as far as I mean, really, we think of the really depressing days in our life, like if we get into a car accident or we find out that we've been fired from our jobs. I mean, really, for Joey Rickard, this may have been the most depressing week ever because not only were you told that you're not into this baseball thing by the Baltimore Orioles, who waive you. I mean, I would think that my career would be uncertain, but thank God for the San Francisco Giants because they care and they claimed Mr. Rickard, and now he's gainfully employed again
Rickard
by a real baseball team.
Rickard was claimed by the years ago. Rickard was claimed by the Orioles as a Rule 5 free agent, which meant that Rickard played for the Orioles under the knowledge that the Orioles could not release him. That he was stuck there. What's worse? But we need to move on. These are smaller players. Let's get to the bigger guys.
Outfielder Cesar Puello is traded from the Angels to the Marlins for cash. Carlos Asuaje from the Diamondbacks and Drew Hutchinson from the Twins also signed.
Puello looked really good with the Los Angeles Angels, and with Upton returning, they had to do something with him. The Miami outfield might be a place to look for some stuff. Carlos Asuaje is interesting because he was one of those guys that got traded in the Kimbrel deal. He's an ex Red Sox prospect. And the other guy, he'll come up in a minute. Logan Allen comes up as in the call-ups. He's also ex Red Sox.
Among our call-ups this week, Dallas Keuchel is now officially back in the fold. As our starting pitchers, Zach Gallen, Adbert Alzole, Logan Allen, and Walter Lockett.
Alzole is Laszlo in Pig Latin. Did you know that? No, these are all. Keuchel was the big signing. Everyone was thinking of the big thing. He pitched last night. He pitched okay. That was pretty much all I thought of him. I don't think he's going to make the same impact that Kimbrel will. To me, he's not a star pitcher anymore. He's an innings eater. Zach Gallen was doing very well in the minors, and he pitched well in his first start. Alzolay was the Cubs' top pitching prospect, and he didn't actually start. He came in after somebody. And then Walter Lockett was a guy that was acquired this year in the offseason that some people were high on. Came over from Cleveland, who was deep. All guys to look at. Oh, Logan Allen, also in the Kimbrel trade. 2 guys in the Kimbrel trade this morning.
Yeah. Position players called up include outfielder Alex Dickerson for the Giants, catcher Zach Collins for the White Sox, and first base outfielder Rangel Ravello for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Alex Dickerson we talked about last week. He's a guy who was hoping to get a chance in San Francisco. He actually went 3 for 3 last night. Rangel Rivero was called up and sent down in the same week.
And he highlighted specifically starting pitcher Aaron Savali for the Cleveland Indians.
I only highlighted it because I had no idea who the guy was, so I had to put some notes there. But he's apparently a top 30 team prospect, and apparently he doesn't have a really good fastball, but his spin rate on his curve is elite, and he throws a lot of strikes. That's what the report is on him. He's probably going to be at best a 4-5 in the majors. But
also some consumer news. Your 2019 Brendan Rodgers, the airbag will go off at random times, and thus he was recalled.
I think this is the time to pick up Brendan Rodgers. He's got no one looking over his shoulder for a little bit. Actually, that's not true. He's got 2 weeks to prove it. But I still think that this is one of the major talents, one of the guys that's in the thinking for Rookie of the Year as far as talents go. I don't know if he'll get there because of playing time, and some people are really. He also had Francisco Mejia as the two big recalls. Mejia is a high end catching prospect for the San Diego Padres, and catchers are in short shrift in fantasy. So if he's available, that's a guy you should pick up.
Some pitchers that are being recalled include Tanner Scott for the Baltimore Orioles, Aniel De Los Santos, who will probably be doing a spot start for the Phillies, Joe Ross for the Nats, and John Means for the Orioles.
Yeah, Means actually came up and went to the IL. Tanner Scott is important to note because the Orioles' relief pitching situation is in flux. He's probably the most talented guy in their bullpen. and so somewhere down the line he might be the closer. But he's a young guy with good stuff.
Your position players being recalled include Williams Astudillo for the Twins, Luis Arraez for the Twins, actually also Jake Cave from Minnesota, and finally Bill McKinney, who you know best as being one of the crazed mountain men in Deliverance, the outfielder for the Blue Jays.
Really, that was one of the mountain men there. I spent so much time up on the same waterway. They really didn't. In North Georgia, they don't like the movie Deliverance for one reason or another.
Really? I couldn't guess why.
I used to do it.
The Wrong Turn is not the official movie of West Virginia.
I like Luis Arias. I actually like Estio too. These are two of the better bat to ball players in the game. Jake Cave might get you steals, and the Sendowns.
Sendowns include the outfielder Austin Dean for the Marlins, Cole Irvin for the Phillies, once the Phillies realized that indeed not Cole Hamels, as they previously thought.
Keep going, these are short.
The Marlins' Pete O'Brien, Cincinnati's Josh Van Meter, Philadelphia's Nick Williams, Detroit's Heimer Candelario, Pittsburgh's Mitch Keller,
I thought
Drew Smiley for the Rangers. Wow, okay.
Yeah, that experience didn't. Well, his 860 ERA didn't work out. Dan Straley's. Those last three guys are like just kind of gone. They were experimenting.
Well, as long as Dan Straley wasn't playing against the Red Sox, he usually got lit up. But when he played against Boston, he was really competent. So, Cody Allen for the Angels outright release.
And I have to say this: Cody Allen of Boone High and UCF. Just always have to bring that up. Anyway. To the darker side of sports, the injuries, buddy.
Yes. Well, injuries because, of course, as medical professionals, we can, make wry commentary on this. Good week and bad week for stories. On the good side, Toy Story 4, released in theaters. And in no way are we sponsored by Disney. Bad news for stories this week, Trevor's story, thumb sprain, 2 weeks.
It was. Yeah,
no surgery.
When he slid into the thing, a couple years ago he had a thumb sprain, had to have surgery, was done for the rest of the year. Everybody was holding with bated breath. Turns out that the MRI was negative, which means that it was good. And they went in there. Looked at it. They said it's not going to need surgery, but he'll probably be back in 2 weeks. That's why I need. That was only I only found it out this morning, and that's why I'm a little bit more tepid on the Brendan Rodgers thing. But
Adalberto Mondesi with a groin injury, Noah Syndergaard with a mild hamstring, and Mike Clevenger with a sprained ankle.
Yeah, those are two of the better pitchers in the game. Syndergaard will probably miss one start. Clevenger 1 or 2. Alberto Mondesi he's actually the league leader in stolen bases and having a tremendous year. Sometimes that groin slows the guy down. We'll wait for him to come back. I don't have to tell people how good they are.
For those of you in the Rich Hill injury pool that had down mid-June, come by to claim your prize, strained flexor tendon. Interesting fact about Rich Hill. If I only take into account the starts that I pay attention to, Rich Hill has not allowed an earned run since 2006. But it doesn't really matter when you are on the IL for 2/3 of that time.
Yeah. Actually, I think if you were gambling on strained flexor tendon being his injury, that would have probably paid off pretty good. It's like somehow he always gets injured with it's always something that you always think is nothing, like a blister or like a hangnail or something.
Yandy Diaz with a hamstring strain. Byron Buxton should be returning next week from his wrist contusion. Justin Smoke with a strained quad. And Vice President Hunter Pence with a groin injury. He will be returning later this week.
That's good news about Buxton and Pence. They're both having tremendous years this year. Buxton was part of the reason why the Twins called up so many people. Hunter Pence, grab him when he comes back. He's got it figured out.
Let's see. Pablo Lopez with a shoulder discomfort. Marwin Gonzalez had a hamstring injury. That was retroactive to June 19th. The aforementioned John Means with a strained shoulder. Wellington Castillo with right knee soreness. And Edwin Jackson celebrating what will probably be a trade to his 16th team with a strained shoulder.
It's rare in life that you'll see a pitcher in baseball that has looked worse than Edwin Jackson has looked this year. I think the injury is just basically saying you're no good anymore.
And on the 7-day IL, Sean Newcomb with a concussion, and Jorge Alfaro
also with a concussion. Those are just things to watch. No way to tell how tough a concussion is. There's no such thing as a good or a bad one. Sometimes they
Yeah.
miss 7, sometimes they miss 30.
Among the players who were not seen or were missing in action on Friday, Garrett Cooper, likely IL trip due to a triceps injury. Rafael Devers with a hamstring injury. Trey Mancini with an elbow due to a hit by pitch.
Devers did come in last night and pinch hit, so it's not too serious.
That is, well, if you're a Red Sox fan, it's a relief. If you're not, then, well, otherwise. And Aaron Hicks, I believe was one of the original 14 injured Yankees from this year, could be going back with a shoulder injury.
That is, yep. Continue.
Among the players that left games, Ketel Marte with a leg injury. Cameron Maben could be a long-term stint on the IL with a calf injury. And Nick Senzel with a migraine.
Yeah, everyone was worried about Nick Senzel because they weren't saying anything about it, but it turns out it was just a headache. A serious migraine could mean two games, so he might not play today. Check your lineups. Ketel Marte's having a tremendous year, and this one looks like it'll be some time. Could be a month.
Among your returns, well, it's even without Aaron Hicks, it might be a good week to be a Yankees fan because the most hard-hitting duo in Scranton Wilkes-Barre history is coming back to the Bronx as Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton return.
Who are those guys?
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, they're
okay.
They're pretty good for some Scranton players,
I mean, go ahead, continue. Between
Jose Altuve and Justin Upton also returning.
Yeah, between the four of that, those are huge returns. I'm sure they're in lineups everywhere.
Hunter Dozier, Dwight Smith Jr., Mike Clevenger, Willie Calhoun, Roman Quinn, and Robinson Cano. Also returning.
Robinson Cano is the new Dustin Pedroia. He's on and off all the time.
Well, I was going to say, if it's the Dustin Pedroia of now, then it's basically you're back for 2 games, and then you get injured. Ken Giles, Trevor Williams, Jordan Zimmerman, Adam Wainwright, Julius Chakin, and David Phelps also returning, with Chris Paddock making his return later today.
Ken Giles will come back in and be the closer in Toronto, and all your speculations that you've been doing in fantasy are for naught. I do like David Phelps more than anyone else out there does, so I think he's a pretty good player, especially if you're in a holds league and I'm rooting for him. Chris Paddock is back. People were making fun of me for being big on him before the season, and when he got sent down, I told you they just sent him down and missed the Colorado start. That's all they did. He's still the same old Chris Paddock.
Well, among the things that don't play in Peoria are the films of David Lynch and David Cronenberg. Things that will be playing in Peoria, Ryan Healy.
I think this is Peoria, Arizona. I really have no idea.
Oh.
But
they're either.
Right. Yeah, Ryan Healy.
George Springer started at Corpus Christi, hit 2 home runs in his first game.
He's a stud. He'll be back shortly.
Andrelton Simmons limped off the field at Orem. Could be a setback.
It is a setback.
Jordan Lyles to start rehab Sunday in El Paso.
El Paso's the Chihuahuas. I thought you'd enjoy that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a pretty good up minor league team name. I mean, it's not quite the Montgomery Biscuits, but it's still pretty good.
There's the new one is Hunting. You know where the space camp is? They got a team, and they're going to be called the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. I want a hat.
Yes. Jordan Lyles to start in El Paso. Joey Gallo at Arizona rookie ball, 400 with 1 home run. So, I mean, that's kind of unfair. Is Joey Gallo really a rookie? No, he's not.
They put it there. They put him down a rookie ball because it's easier on him. But this is saying, you can't take a lot out of what they do down there, but you don't want to see him go 1 for 13. And if he's a power hitter, you want to see a home run or 2.
Well, he may be well served to have a game against Trevor Cahill, who started last night in Salt Lake City. Yikes! 7 earned in 2 1/3.
I've always been big on Trevor Cahill. I'm done with him. Stay away from Cahill. I drafted him in a lot of leagues. I was wrong. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa.